Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am back with Mangler, and today we'll be reviewing, or we'll be
Hey
going
yo.
over, reacting to a more recent video. Came out about a month or two ago. Top 20 strongest Devil May Cry characters by one Wavecoon. Uh,
Also, could you read the description because I believe it says it takes into consideration DMC 5.
yes, so this top takes into account, or this top, I don't understand, is that an acronym or okay, whatever. That takes into account Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, not the Switch version, Devil May Cry 4, and Devil May Cry 5. So I'm going to be honest here. A little. So no novels have been taken into account here. I think we can. So I think we can clarify that one right off the bat. No novels were taken into account, which probably will lead to some. Well, I already know some of the list already because I've seen the first
Yeah.
Mangler show.
This
So
is this is gonna be contentious if
yeah.
the
So
novels are not made.
clearly not an accurate list. Let's see here. He has a little disclaimer. I think. This top. Okay, yeah. All done correct except the 2013 DMC reboot.
Okay,
Oh, fair enough, I guess.
let's get started. Well, I already know what the list is.
Yeah,
I've seen
Mangler's already
everything.
seen it. I've seen only the first five. He typed out a list, but I'm gonna react to it like at first. I already know the first five. We have Proto Angelo at number 20.
Yeah,
Already, I
we'll
kind
just
of disagree.
let's just list them off and then we'll go through them.
Okay, so
Like,
first we're gonna watch the video here, and then we will get into that. Let's see here. We have Conqueror the Fire Hero, Burial. All right,
okay.
not a bad list so far. Goliath, Incandescent Colossus. Having Goliath here at all kind of surprises me. We don't really know how strong Goliath is at all.
I'll reserve my feelings for after we get through them so the
Alright.
audience knows what all of it is.
Alright, I'm just gonna give hot takes as we
Just
go along.
hold it in.
Uh,
Hold in your enthusiasm.
Torito, alright. At least he made the list. Okay, already V at 16. No, not possible. Not possible. Okay, let's go forward. Who's next? Oh, okay, don't use a fucking manga panel if you're not going to include the manga as part of your sources, please. Oh dear. Or maybe he'll separate Nightmare. Maybe he'll separate. Yeah,
Okay, we could just go through all this on the second run.
Lady at number 15. Oof, oof, oof. Feels.
Number 14, I believe, is.
Okay, no, fucking no, no, no. What the fuck?
Wait,
Okay.
which one are you at?
Okay, so
13?
I'm at 12 now. Oh, okay. 13 was. Okay, 12 Trish. Okay, okay. You know what? Trish is pretty strong in DMC, so all right, all right. Good addition. I disagree on the placement, but good addition nonetheless. Oh, really? Oh, okay, Artemis after. Okay, I will say Cavular Angelo after Trish is the correct choice because Cavular Angelo is just a stronger version of Trish, so that's a correct choice. I don't think Artemis will be above Trish though. Malphus, ooh, that's a big assumption there. All right.
Alright, we should be halfway done now.
Yeah, so
So,
we're on Savior now at number 8. Okay, not the worst place to put him in. Sanctious alone. Okay, I wish they would put Diabolical Sanctious. Mundus
or
is
is that
number
just.
6. Okay, okay, all right, fair enough. They got strong. I like that. I like he puts the spirit body above Mundus. Good man.
Actually, it's not Despair Body, it's Argosags.
Oh, the pictures despair and the dom. Why did he make his own titles? They literally have titles, Like why are you making titles like for yourself? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so Sparta at number 4. Okay, I guess that's somewhat fair, all things considered. Okay, Urizen. He's not gonna specify, just in general. All right, fair enough.
Which, yeah. We'll get to the questions and everything afterwards.
Nero at number 2. Okay, all right. All right, tell me England's already got some choice words for that one.
I got choice words for this entire list. None of which includes Nero.
And number 1 tied. Oh man, the Alpha and Omega. Oh man, clearly he's number 1.
Well, it's tied, so.
Yeah, tied Virgil versus Dante. Okay, to be fair, I don't think having a tied position at number 1 is inherently the worst thing to do.
This is the weirdest level of like inaccuracy.
So, like,
Okay.
I think the number 1 spot isn't inherently bad. I think we could stop there. The number 1 spot isn't bad inherently, because I do understand that at this point in the series, if there is a difference between Dante and Virgil, it's a rather minuscule one for now. I personally put Virgil above Dante, but, you know, my personal opinion.
All right, let's discuss who would we would put of this list at the bottom of the list. I think
Okay,
it's fair to put Proto Angelo at the bottom of the list. That's
yeah. Proto Angelo, in what was given, is in the right position.
But then I got some immediate problems with like Burial and Goliath being in their places. So we don't have any statements for what Burial does. He just shows up and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, what the?"
son of a bitch.
And then,
Where's King
and then
Cerberus?
not on here.
What the fuck? He's literally one of the final bosses of the game. How do you not put King Cerberus in here?
He's so important. He was guarding the fruit.
Literally
Not
able
important
to
to make
fight
the list.
Dante. Oh no! Let's just put fucking Goliath here. I'm gonna assume he forgot King Cerberus. No, he put Malphus in there.
Yeah, no,
What the fuck?
Burial should be above. Because
You-
titles in the demon world are gained via power.
Okay, so you're saying that
Goliath
Burial
has
should be above
none.
Goliath?
Goliath has nothing
Well,
to
Goliath's
justify that.
title is the incandescent Goliath, but that doesn't really fucking do anything, you know? Like, it doesn't help anything.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's not just that like Burial's the king of the fire hell. He's the conqueror of the fire hell. He took it over. He killed everything in it, or at least conquered most of it, and then became its leader.
Yeah, okay, so
Strongest from it. So
number 20, Proto Angelo, perfectly fine. So you're saying number 19 should be... Well, hang on a minute. Let me check the list over again just to make sure.
whoa, hang on. Do we? What about? Because next to that, I would probably put either Artemis or
Okay,
Lady.
so let's go ahead and set up the... Like, let's use the creatures he put, actually change the list for a more accurate thing, and then we'll go from there. So you're saying number 19 should be Goliath, right?
Well, if we're
Actually,
comparing it to Lady and
I was gonna
Artemis,
say,
no, Lady should be number 19.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lady should be 19 or 20 if we're gonna be honest here. Like Proto Angelo would probably be able to beat Lady. Well, no, Proto Angelo should be stronger than Lady, but he
Well,
probably
if
would
this
lose.
is this a Lady with like Kalina and 2?
Are
Because
we,
if this is Lady with Kalina and 2, I'm pretty sure she wins that.
all
Was this
right.
like giant demonic gumbo laser?
Well, she has to have both of them in order to do that. So, like, are we talking like full
Yeah,
kit Lady?
we're assuming full kit Lady with like if she doesn't have Arsenal. That's what I assume for DMC 5 because
All right, so Lady full arsenal.
not that Dante gives it back.
Oh yeah,
Freak.
I'll give it back, and let me just go ahead and go to hell so you can't get it back.
With both of your rocket launchers.
You know that when your mom gave you sentiments of value, I'll be taking that. Thank you for your donation to the Devil May Cry.
So Goliath, I think you'd have to make some like weird arguments. I mean, granted, he's pretty stupid, but like you'd have to make some pretty weird arguments to suggest that like Lady would beat him because like Lady, her strongest thing is that laser, right? With the Proto Angel, it's not hard to argue that she could like run away, charge it up, and just blast him.
We know
Whereas-
we know rockets. We know the rockets are going to hurt him. So even with just one rocket launcher, the question on the table is, could Lady dodge most of his attacks? And truth be told, personally, I think Lady could probably beat Goliath. Personally, because also he's got that mouth weak spot, and she can easily hit that.
Never been shown to beat like a boss demon ever. Like
So that's kind of thing. It really depends on where you put the bullets and where you put the things she killed in the anime as. Because
I think if we gave her better weapons, she'd kill most boss demons in the series
if
that
we
don't have
gave
like
her
titles.
the bullets Burial had, she'd like stomp like every boss in the series.
You know,
All right, so number 18.
like
though.
Burial.
Well, okay, fucking whatever her name is in fucking.
Oh,
18.
Barrel.
Barrel.
I was like,
Two
huh.
similar fucking names. What? Okay, so.
Yeah, no, she had Spiral. If she had Spiral, she could beat Barrel. She could beat Glass. She just headshot him the entire fight until he dies.
All right, so at number 18, so Artemis or Goliath.
Artemis would just snipe Goliath the entire fight. Like, what's Goliath gonna do? Like, oh, let me eat this car and fire this slow projectile at you while you're flying around and zoning me from a distance.
Well, to be fair, the video is top 20 strongest Devil May Cry characters. So would we assume then that like
This is assuming if they had to fight each other, like how they would match up.
Because Goliath is
This
the
is
first
our
boss
list.
to go down. This is our list now. Because
Yeah.
Goliath is the first boss you take down, but it's never directly stated how powerful he is in relation to the other bosses. We can assume
I understand that.
he's
I
weaker than
understand
fucking
that.
like King Cerberus and Urizen and all that jazz. I'd say he's weaker than Malphus too. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think him and Artemis both are, but like, even if
Yeah.
I didn't say they were in the same tier, it's just like, what's he going to do to Artemis? Like, just
Well, man,
chase. It's basically a human chasing a giant bug around that flies at the speed of like light, and it's like, what do you
don't
do?
forget if
It's
fighters
just like,
fly at you.
it's just like, and it doesn't even have to like sting you. It can shoot stingers at you. Like what?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like flailing.
Alright, so yeah, I can see Goliath being number 18, but then number 17 is going to be Artemis.
So here's where the list starts to get a little contentious. So
Alright, let's hear it.
I think it's fair that we can put someone like the top 5 characters like Nero or Dante and Virgil, Sparta, Argosax, Mundus, and like anyone that scales to them. I think the next ones would probably have to be like Arkham and Sanctus.
Okay,
and...
well, hang on. We're on number 17 right now, so... Okay, I think the top 10 spot, for the most part, we can leave alone for now. I don't think we're going to be moving characters outside of Angelo.
All right, so do you just want to debunk the list correctly, and then we'll go back and through it?
Well, I mean,
From there?
so I'm as you can see, I'm typing out the list as we go about it. So number 17 is the next one. Who are we going to put at the 17 spot?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying like the people that I could see as candidates are probably Sanctus, Arkham, and what's it called?
Okay, so I'll be honest. I think Sanctius is in a pretty good spot on the list. I think he is above most of those characters, with the exception of Lucia. And I will say Sanctius at the end of the game is stronger than Trish, with the Sword Sparta and the Savior powering him.
Nah, I don't think that, like, because this, first of all, it's not specified which version of this, but even if it is the Sparta sword, like the only meaningful difference, because it literally states that most of his power in the diabolical form is from the Ascension ritual, so he's comparable to Ascended Sanctus. He just has the Sparta sword, and he can just charge.
Well, he's also
her,
being
so...
powered by the Savior too, though. Like it says that his power comes from the Savior and the Sword Sparta. So like,
I mean,
we have to factor in the power of the Savior
I don't
behind
want to throw this out there, but Trish literally offered to take down the Savior. So like, if she was offering that on the, I don't use this because it's like it's a line where she throws away, but like, she says, "Hey, do you want to switch?"
Well, here's the thing:
Meaning she's prepared.
the Savior itself isn't that capable of an opponent, but the power of the Savior behind someone like Sanctius, who's a lot more agile and faster, would definitely be a problem for Trish. I mean, for fuck's sake, Dante was running around the Savior casually shattering fucking gems. It's an entire mission. It couldn't have been that hard when he gives you the platforms to do it.
I'm just saying I don't think he has any feats because all he has is the Sparta sword. So it's like basically the assumption is that he has to hit Trish, but like there's no reason for me to believe he's fast enough to catch Trish.
Well,
like,
he can
it's
control
not...
light itself. I mean, he has light-based attacks. He can control light. So
I mean, Trish should be faster than most light demons anyway. She's clearly faster than the speed of light at this point.
No,
like,
she is, but like I don't think the difference here is like that massive. I haven't finished the Deadly Fortunas Part 2 yet though. So have you? Did you do Part 2?
I have to. I have to go in Part 1, and I was just like, oh, God,
yeah,
I want to die.
The grammar is a fucking nightmare. Because Part 2 is where the fight happens. So if I can see the canon version of the fight, I could probably make a better decision on that one.
Wait, what about Arkham? Because I feel like you could probably put Arkham, like, I've always felt like Arkham is blatantly stronger than Sanctus because he actually got the Sparta form from the transformation, and he powered up, and it took both Dante and Virgil to defeat him, rather than just Nero to defeat Sanctus.
Well, here's the thing. Regarding that situation, I think we can't underestimate how useful Yamato was in that fight in reference.
Yamato played.
Yeah, because
Yamato played way too much of a role in both fights.
Yeah, for fucking real. Dante couldn't touch Sanctius, but Virgil slices his hand clean off. So very clearly, if Virgil was fighting Sanctius, Virgil would have stomped him out because Yamato would have carried him.
You mean Arkham?
Right, thank you. Arkham fucking... I confuse them too easily in the morning. So,
they're both Sparta wannabes, so like...
yeah. I'm going to say Sanchez is a bit stronger because Sanchez has the Savior behind him too. Arkham only has a fraction of the power of Sparta.
Are we saying who would win in a fight or who is just more powerful? Because I think you could probably argue that the Sparta sword is definitely more powerful than like whatever his thing. But I think Arkham would last longer in a fight between the two of them.
I think in a fight Sanchez would win because Sanchez has just going off of abilities. Sanchez can counter everything Arkham can throw at him. First off, you have the shield, so those stupid fucking red things aren't going to work on him. The fucking little Legion, Sanchez can pop them away with a snap because he has like
that shield can't be that strong because like Nero fought him and Nero had the Red Queen.
I mean, to be fair though, in the canon, he had Yamato for the entirety of the fight.
He still had Red Queen though. Like,
well, I mean, the novel and Matt Walker both confirmed that the Red Queen was like turned into the Savior. He only had Yamato.
No. I'm talking about the first fight.
Oh, okay.
Again, like he's still.
Okay, so I'm referring to Sanchez at the end of the game. If we're talking,
he still has the same shield though. Like,
well, no, but he's stronger at the end of the game though. We would have to assume the shield is stronger too. He has more power at the end of the game.
I mean, like again, I don't.
I mean, look, so we have the power of the Sword Sparta, which, well, let's assume it didn't give him that much power. Fair enough. It's still the awakened Sparta. It should be giving him more power than the Force Edge halfway awakened. For some fucking reason, the Force Edge just decided, I don't want to be Sparta today.
Even so, like, Arkham took hit after hit after hit after hit from Yamato.
I mean,
and he was capable
Sanchez.
of taking... No. Sanchez in the end cutscene took one Yamato slice, and that was it.
Yeah, he probably after a long battle, though.
Yeah, he probably took a couple, and that was it. Arkham in the end cutscene took, like, dozens. And that was the end of the fight.
I would have to reread Deadly... I'll read Deadly Fortuna Part 2 later, so I can confirm how the canon fight went down. Because I'm pretty sure... What?
I will as well. We'll just like try and confirm. We'll try and get a consensus.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure fucking Sanchez took more hits at the very least.
We'll just put Sanchez above Arkham and.
Okay, well we'll go ahead and say this part of the list pretty contentious. I'll put Arkham at 17 and Sanchez at 16, but this part of the list I feel like could go either way.
I think you could now if you wanted to argue where Lucia, I think you could argue Lucia is stronger than Trish. Like,
well, actually, wait, hang on a minute. So, actually, okay, so if Sanchez is the power of the Savior behind him, should we put the Savior at 17 then?
Well, it's not clear which Sanctus he's referring to, like, because the Sanctus that he shows in the picture, like, doesn't he show like the Sanctus sitting in?
Let me pull up the video. Where's Sanctus at? Sanctus is near the end. It's because what I don't like is he scrolls through multiple versions in this video. So we have Sanctus after his awakening, and then we have Diabolical Sanctus, but he only refers to Sanctus.
Because like Ascended Sanctus loses to Arkham, Trish, and Lucia flat out. Like there's no like only you can only use Diabolical.
Yeah. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to put Diabolo? Because if it's Diabolical or fucking Diablo Sanctus, he has to be above the. Well, okay, no, you fight him at the end of the game. After Dante's weakened the Savior.
Well, we'll see. The thing is, the Savior's lost a significant portion of its power because Nero is no longer part of its core.
Yeah, so do we assume then, are we talking full power Sanctus, or do we just say end of game Sanctus? Because the Savior still has a lot of power, but it is weaker after the fight with Dante and Nero.
Do we even get a fight with full power Sanctus? He's just like, you could never touch the Savior. Dante's like, I'm going in. And then we never see that Sanctus again. Because then Nero just wakes up.
It took me way too many years to realize what the
I think if you wanted to argue power Sanctus, I think full power Sanctus could probably make an argument that he could be Trish, not the one that fights Nero. Because that one would be significantly weaker than the one that had Nero. Because he's literally got the bringer and all that power.
Okay, so Arkham at 17. We'll put Sanctus end of game at 16. And we'll leave the Savior for higher up because the Savior is still stronger if at full power.
Savior's complicated. He's got to go away.
Alright, so I'll put 17 Arkham, and I'll put 16 end of game Sanctus.
Okay. So, let's see. Who else do we have?
Okay, so Actually, so hang on a minute. No Arius on this list either. This
Oh
man.
wait, you didn't put Artemis in there.
Oh, okay. So where do you want to put Artemis? You want to put her at 17?
17.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me edit this real quickly. So we don't have to come through it. All right. So Arkham will be
Artemis not at 17. Fake news.
Arkham will be 16. All right. Good to go. And then we'll have Sanctious at 15. And then we'll go ahead and because I'm fucking retarded, we'll go ahead and put 17 Artemis below Sanctious. I can't move it. Like it's too late.
Okay. So then next
so,
ones we have, I think. We're just gonna go like number by number. We'll get around to V later.
Okay, so hang on a minute.
So Trish, the next ones are
hang
Trish,
on.
Cavalier,
Burial,
Lucia,
actually.
and Malphus.
Hang on. Where do we put Burial?
Didn't we put him on the list?
No, he's not on the list yet.
Because
I'm gonna be honest here, Arkham and Sanctious should be above Burial.
Well, Sanctus should be above a Burial, definitely. Well, okay. I think Burial could be above Ascended Sanctus, but not any other version.
Like, end of game, like, we're referring to end of game at this point.
Okay, we're referring to end of game, then no. He should be above... He should definitely be above Artemis and Goliath. So...
Son of a bitch!
I know. Sorry.
Okay, so, hang on. I'm just gonna retype the list so we don't fucking have to just confuse it. Okay, so, 20, Proto-Angelo, whatever.
19 Lady Arsenal, 18 Goliath, 17 Artemis, and then... Actually, you can just copy-paste them.
It's too late for that.
Here, I'll copy-paste some of them. Let me know when you're ready.
Alright, so I already have Goliath, so then... So 17 is Artemis, you can go to copy-paste
Okay,
Artemis.
let me post that.
Okay, 17 is Artemis... 16 then Burial, and then we just move everyone down one?
Yeah.
Or do you think Burial could beat Arkham with the power of Sparta?
That's wonky.
Here's the thing. Like you said, Arkham could take hits from Yamato over and over again, thanks to his log form. So I'm pretty sure he can tank whatever fucking Burial's gonna throw at him.
Let's see.
So I would say Burial should be 16, and we'll put Arkham 15 and Sanctious 14. Okay, wait, hang on. Before we do this, Cavalier Angelo's on the list.
Yeah, I know.
Are we gonna put Cavalier Angelo above fucking Arkham and Sanctious?
If this is endgame Sanctious, this is again Diabolo Sanctious that has lost Nero. This isn't like. Right, like, again, this is still... Yeah, so okay. Like, I still think Trish would beat Diabolo's Sanctious. Just not full power Sanctious with Nero with the full power of the Savior.
Not mid-game, not like Dante campaign Sanctious.
Yeah, that is like, this is a little too much for me.
Okay.
Like, again, I think Trish, when she says, I can take the Savior, and she is collectively referring to Sanctious, but, like... I don't think, like, they're like, oh, we gotta go get the Sparta Sword, but I don't think she's aware, like, oh, hey, like, Nero. It could just be that she's like, oh, hey, I'll just free Nero, and then I'll kill him. That's what she meant. Or that's what you could mean, but then again...
DMC over here not giving us the answers we need. All too good. Okay, so then we're currently at number 14. Okay, so who do we
next,
have? We're at 13
Trish.
Now. Okay,
so Lucia, Cavalier, and Malphus. Okay, so let's get one thing clear. Trish is weaker than Cavalier because Cavalier is literally just Trish with an armor.
Yeah, so no matter where that goes, Cavalier will be above Trish. Now, so obviously the question on the table is Lucia versus Trish. I'm going to say Lucia wins. I'm going to say Lucia. Well, okay, then I think we have to talk about Cavalier then because Cavalier's only feat, outside being a stronger version of Trish, is getting her ass beat by Dante and V.
V atop a Garian Knight. So the thing about Lucia is
which version of fucking Cavalier are we using? Are we just using like Dante Cavalier, or are we using Goliath or fucking
Dante Cavalier? Just Cavalier, fully conditioned, but without the Garian Knight.
Yeah, because Garian Knight Cavalier is technically stronger because he has like Geary in the back of him.
But that's not really Cavalier though. That's Cavalier with the Geary Knight.
I don't know. I've never heard of a knight be separated from his horse, and you just call the fucking knight like not.
You apparently haven't heard of the Middle Ages. Did you just assume all knights were with their horses at all times?
All knights actually were with the horses all their time.
They just slept in the stables. They're so loyal.
Knights fucking dude. Haven't you played Assassin's Creed? You whistle and your horse appears randomly.
I played Ocarina time too, and I just played the Ocarina, and it's there. Loyalty, man.
Oh man, see, exactly. You got.
Okay. So I think that it's kind of hard to scale Lucia for a couple of reasons. Like all the boss demons. Well, I was gonna say all the boss demons don't really have any like titles. The only ones that we have are Bulwark.
No, she does not fight Bulwark.
Dante does.
Oh wait, hang on, but she does fight the three heads. And they are considered to be fucking, like, I think they were considered to be the prophets of the demon world or something.
They're supposed to be oracles. It just says oracles who have knowledge of the demon world. It doesn't say anything.
I'm a bitch! Hang on. Let me look at DMC2's fucking file list real quickly.
It literally says all, and I'm like, what? You can't be real right now. Dude, I can pop in DMC2 right now, but like...
Do you want to pop in DMC2 right now? Or do you want me to go on the wiki?
Just go on the wiki. It has the exact...
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so them. Here are the characters. Okay, so I guess let's start.
The only one you can talk about is Phantom, because if she fights Phantom and she beats him, she does. Even if you want to say it's like an alternate universe timeline, it's still Phantom. It's confirmed to be Phantom. So since she beats him, then
so she beats Phantom. That one's a fair game. But she also fights Arius too. And while she does lose, she does beat an Arius possessed or Argosax possessed Arius.
Yeah, no, that's after she gets the humanity boost. She beats him, and then he powers up again, and then she beats him again.
Yeah. So personally, I would have put Lucia at Demon King level prior to before the Nightmare, because technically Balrog is Demon King level before a Nightmare, isn't he?
I don't know if it's stated that he's Demon King. Again, I haven't read like the Nightmare English translation or summary.
Well, but he's conquered hell, or at least half of it by that point.
Yeah, but so that's also because he was considered Argosax's right hand man. So
yeah, prior to Argosax getting fucking yeeted. Personally, I do think Arius is a lot stronger than most bosses in the series in general, so I would personally put Lucia above Cavalier Angelo, but I couldn't put her a lot high. Well,
I think Lucia probably still would have beaten Phantom after the point, because her humanity boost only kicks in like near the end of the game.
End of game
after she already beats Phantom.
Okay, well, let me take
a
look.
That means Arius would be stronger than Phantom.
Yeah, Arius is way. I think Arius and Chen specifically are way stronger than Demon Generals. Like
Arius is like, money can solve all your problems. Give me stronger than some of the strongest demons.
I personally think Arius is just below Demon King level, in my personal opinion. I would say
not base Arius. That's silly.
Base Arius was able to fight DMC2 Dante multiple times.
No, he wasn't, because he confirms that Dante's holding back to protect Lucia. He literally says, "You're not fighting. Like, something's holding you back," which is bullshit, because he should just be able to kill him. But like, DMC2 was a half-finished game.
That just means that Arius is that good, Mangler.
Look, it's not our fault that Arius.
I would personally say Arius is comparable to Chen. Personally,
I mean, again, like, Dante comes by later in the game and shoots him and kills him. Like,
yeah, but there's still a battle that goes on. We do see that Arius is already.
I mean, there's a battle that goes on with every major demon anyway. Like, the only reason he survives the first one is because Dante's holding back.
Lucia should be above Cavalier. I don't know about Malphus. Because
Malphus is funky.
So Malphus isn't Demon King level. We know that much, but we don't know how powerful she is either. And all her spells and shit aren't all that impressive. Arius did similar things in DMC too, and all she does is teleport weird.
She just kind of like, we don't have any feats. She's really like
Lucia above Malphus.
We just know she's stronger than Cavalier, but we know Lucia is stronger than Cavalier. So we probably have to we'd be forced to put Lucia higher because Lucia actually has feats that concretely put her somewhere, did the Arius Argosac stuff, and the
Okay.
Possessed Arius. She doesn't have anything. That's
Okay,
an.
so if I'm hearing the list correctly, it's 13 is going to be Trish. Then we're gonna have 12 will be
Then
Cavalier.
Cavalier.
How do you spell Cavalier?
Then Malphus, then Lucia. Because Lucia also has the DT, and she never went DT to fight any of those. Or at least we don't have a confirmation that she did.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So number 11 is gonna be Malphus. And
Also,
number
even
10.
if you don't believe that Dante has the amulets, technically Lucia should have them.
Lucia
so
canonically has the amulets because the game directly describes her getting the amulets. So canonically, amulet abilities belong to Lucia.
Which means she can just stop time and DT if
well, okay, hang on a minute. So then, looking at the list a bit forward here, Savior is still on the list if I'm not mistaken. So
okay,
are we gonna put Lucia beneath the Savior then? Because Savior would then hit number 9. Well, actually,
I mean, Trish.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we skipped V, and
Okay, hang on. How much stronger? Just Savior with no damage versus like the Fallen Savior, because it's literally the same thing. It's just the Savior is low on stamina. That's
only feat we have. Well, no. Okay, so each gem the Savior has holds his power. So every time Dante breaks the gem, the Savior loses a chunk of his power.
Oh.
So that's what Dante was. That's how Dante weakened the Savior. Is every gem held power, lose the gem, lose the power.
I'm saying that even then, Trish was confident she could at least combat the Savior and take out the gems.
Again, I'm not saying she couldn't she couldn't stop this. Like if the Savior didn't have the gems, Trish couldn't have stopped him.
Or if he did or didn't.
No, if he did not have the gems, Trish would not have been able to fight him.
I mean, Savior wouldn't have been able to hit her, but it would have basically just been like him trying to swat a fly for 20 minutes until she fucks off. He would have been too strong
for her to hurt, but she probably could have avoided all his attacks because he's fucking slow as shit.
It literally would have just been a big guy trying to swat a fly for like 50 minutes.
Okay, so are you thinking we put the Savior at 10 and Lucia at 9? Because I'm pretty sure Lucia could beat the Savior.
Yeah, no. If you think Trish can beat the gems, there's no reason Lucia shouldn't be able to beat the gems.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so we put Savior beneath Trish then?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Wait, no. Well, yeah, okay.
Okay, so okay, so in terms of raw power, I do believe the Savior is stronger than Trish by a vast margin.
But it depends. Like, do you think? Because here's the thing. I think you could argue Trish would beat the Savior. I don't know if you could argue Cavalier Angelo would, because I don't think Cavalier Angelo is intelligent enough to attack the gems. It's not that he isn't powerful enough. It's that he can't he doesn't have any rationality. He's literally like Sparta.
I mean, but could fucking the Savior hit Cavalier though? Because Cavalier not only has a proper shield, unlike Trish.
I mean, all he has to do is hit him. All he has to do is hit him once or twice.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, in terms of raw power, the Savior should be above these characters. I'm just saying, do we put the Savior above Lucia? Because the Savior's only direct statement
is... Wait, what?
What?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The Savior's only quote-unquote feat, outside of killing every demon on fucking, Fortuna, is, according to Credo, the Savior was designed to destroy all evil. And it was going to start by driving the demons out. So, according to the fucking plan, Saint-Just was going to go into the underworld with the Savior and kill everything there.
And then activate the demon death ray and just, vaporate. Well, actually, if that's true, since Trish is a full demon, he activates that hyper death ray. If she's not,
there's no doubt the Savior would destroy Trish if he could hit her, but that attack takes 10 years to charge up.
Well, I'm just saying for Cavalier, it's a bit different because Cavalier is a lot of these demons are very specific in their fighting styles and their approach to something. So I have a feeling he's just going to try and attack the Savior head on. So the Savior can literally just fly into the air and charge the death ray. But Trish can fly too. Trish can round. All Cavalier has is the teleportation via lightning and stuff. So.
Okay, so currently, I mean, you're not wrong. Although I do think
I mean,
Cavalier could probably fly faster than Trish, but
well,
Lucia is
here's
bigger
the
than her.
thing. Like when Cavalier Angelo ran away, it ran away. It didn't fly away. Like, he
I mean,
was like,
V just
oh
had to
no, I
clap
have to
those
get.
cheeks.
Yeah, no. He's just like, I gotta go. Like,
Listen, I'll be back later.
yes.
I
So
don't
I think you could
understand
probably
what Cavalier was thinking. If they couldn't beat V, why would they go to fight Dante? Like, were they just trying to get themselves killed?
like, I think it's literally just like an instinctive thing. It's like this person isn't stronger than me unless they beat me. That's how it is. Like I
Okay.
said, lack of rationale.
So again, so Savior and Lucia, next one's on the list. Although I will say this is more of a power list here, since if we're talking about who can beat who, the list would change significantly to a degree, or at the very least there would be some changes around here, except for like the first
Because
five.
if it's power, then Savior is very high up because he could. In most cases, he charges the hyper death ray. He would kill most of the demons on this list that aren't Demon Kings because it
Yeah, I
would
mean if they're
literally just
standing
vaporize them.
fucking still.
I mean, they don't need to stand still. He wiped out an entire city. The blast radius on that thing's got to be like the size of a nuclear bomb. So like where are you gonna go? Only Malthus really survives that because she's like,
Laughs
I'm
and
just gonna
fast,
portal jump.
laughs and faster and light character. Wait, so if the beam takes a while to charge up and he can't move all that much with the beam, like the beam would have to be faster and light at a bare minimum, I think. But like, I wonder how many characters could just like fucking dodge that point blank. Because Dante has to use Dreadnought against it in the book.
Meaning it's very, very, very.
Yeah, the attack potency there is fucking insane. Actually, if he has to Dreadnought to survive the attack, or at the very least not take significant damage,
Yeah,
we could probably put the
that's what I
Savior
mean.
above fucking like the likes of
Because
Okay,
I
so
think
Savior,
the death ray isn't just like potent. It's specifically effective against demons. It seems to be extremely effective because it just vaporized them.
so
Like
you want
it didn't touch any of the humans. They were completely unharmed, even though they were in the blast radius.
to
Meaning
be
it's
fair,
specifically meant to
that
hit
was
demons.
to be fair, that was a different attack though. That was just the Savior's casual light attacks.
No. He used the death ray. Like he literally used the death ray to fire it. No, I'm not talking about the death ray that he like in gameplay at Dante where he just charges it up and fires it. He just fired it and it sent out an attack radius that wiped out every demon in the city.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was
The
talking
one
about the one in the boss fight, because canonically Dante has to use Dreadnought to tank that.
That's probably stronger because it's concentrated into one area. But I'm talking about the general thing just vaporized all demons.
Yeah.
So if you're demon, you probably like don't want to get hit by that.
So then, the question on the table is: would that fucking destroy? Well, it didn't.
I don't think that would
Trish.
affect the. I don't think that would affect the. Well, Trish was evacuating the city with Lady. They were on the outskirts, so the radius.
Damn.
Yeah, they were. So it's like. I mean, you really just have to talk about the radius, but like in an actual fight, no, the person in front of him who's fighting him that's an irrational demon is not going to know. Oh, this has like a citywide radius. Let me just get out of here. Like only Malthus.
I
getting
wish
out.
we would have seen like a feat of someone either tanking the blast or dodging it, because the only person there is Agnus, but Agnus is on the ground, so we can probably say like he was safe from the attack.
Actually, no, that doesn't even work either. Oh wait, as far as the first one?
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
one. No,
The first one.
the second beam's gonna fucking tear someone a new one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Agnes is dead.
Okay, but
That's a
so
Savior's
then
fight.
we have to talk about Lucia, because okay, so the Savior's got all that, but Lucia has hacks abilities to add on to that. She's got ice, fire, lightning, fucking time.
Well, I'm
manipulation.
saying, I think Trish would still win because the thing about that beam is that you have to charge it generally. It's not like the Trish can't shoot the crystals because she knows that they're the source of the power, or at least they're like, oh, bright objects. Let me just
you're
blast
gonna hit
that.
the crystals in any capacity. I don't think anyone's
Like
not gonna hit the
even
crystals.
if you don't know whether those are the things, they look like weak points. They literally do.
All those
They're
hours of
giant
playing
glowing
games
bulbs on
finally
your
paid
body.
off.
No. They're giant glowing bulbs in your body, and he isn't even like the first demon that has things like this. There are various demons in like the other like DMC games that have weak points that are like glowing portions of their body. or otherwise, or at least look like you would hit them because they're
Yeah.
vital spots. And he's got like 10 of them, and they're blue. So they're a very distinctive color. They're huge, and there's many of them all over the sides of
Actually,
his body.
the cores in DMC 1, the weak spot for a creature were blue. So that would just be more incentive to hit the fucking blue thing.
Not to mention, Trish New Nightmare. Just gonna say, like, she has a good. Lucia would be no different, especially since she's been training.
Well, okay, it's good. So this is, I guess, since we're doing a power list right now, specifically, the question on the table is: are Lucia's powers going to be considered greater than the Savior's?
I mean,
I don't think has the statement that he would have destroyed all evil.
I don't think that's really going to matter because, again, like unless the Savior hits her with a death ray. If he hits her with a death ray, you could probably argue Lucia's dying. If Dante used Dreadnought to dog it, then
I think at this point, now that we're at the 10 list, most of these characters are going to be killing each other pretty easily, except for Dante and Virgil. Well, and obviously a few more exceptions, but you get what I'm saying here. Like we're kind of at the point now to where like we're playing for keeps.
Yeah, so it's like. I think in most hypotheticals, if like, I think Trish and Lucia would do everything they can to dodge that.
If we're talking a fight, I think Trish and Lucia just on agility alone would probably beat the Savior. But if we're talking raw power, the Savior would be stronger than Trish, and it's because we only have the statement, so I can't say for certain if he'd beat Lucia, but they would be able to beat him in a fight. So if we're
I'm just saying most times they're just gonna outmaneuver him and take off crystals until he runs out of power, and he won't be able to fire the death ray anyway.
I'm thinking Savior at 10 then, and Lucia at 9, only because like if these two were to fight, Lucia would probably win the majority of the time. The Savior's weakness has to be factored in here significantly.
Like even, and to clarify, for anyone curious, like even if Malphus portal jumps, she's gonna have to come back to the battlefield to keep engaging. Like, and she will. So eventually, the Savior is going to hit her with a death ray because we have no reason to believe she's intelligent enough to hit those crystals. Like, yeah, she's got made magic and shit, but like we've never seen any of her stuff. We only have like a couple conversations with her. We don't have a gauge on her. Whereas we have a full game with like Trish and Lucia.
Oh, son of a bitch!
If this were Burial, I may make an exception because Burial is noticeably more intelligent than other people, but he died.
Hey, forget that shit for a minute. We forgot Credo. Where do we put Credo?
Oh crap, we forgot Credo.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I was looking at the list and I was like, wait, we're missing somebody.
Yeah, okay, so let's clarify. I think the Ascended Generals should be comparable to each other. Okay, I think that's fair. However, we don't have any confirmation to state they're stronger than the Gate Guardians or the King.
Okay, I personally think the Ascended Generals are, at the very least, stronger than the Temini Gru Guards. I think they're as strong, if not stronger.
We don't have anything to do that because like the only fights Kratos fights is Nero, who's like way more than him and has Yamato and a DT. And has the Double Bringer.
Credo was able to survive the fight for a good portion of time. Keep in mind the last
because
guy...
Nero didn't want to kill him.
But the last guy who had Yamato... you remember what happened to Beowulf? I think I remember what happened to Beowulf.
Well, we don't have any reason to... I'll have to read Deadly Fortune novel 1.
So Credo was blocking most of Yamato's strikes with his shield. So Credo's shield is a massive defensive buff for Credo. Even if you want to argue AP, he's slightly weaker. He can tank almost any attack from the generals.
But I'm saying he needs to have enough attack power to be able to like.
Well, let's see here. He was able to hurt Sanctius for a second.
Yeah, but that was Ascended Sanctius.
Savior wasn't up yet. I personally think Credo is stronger than the guards, or than the guards. I do think the generals could probably take him on, but that defense is going to be a massive advantage. You can't.
It's even if shield. No, I can't overlook that, but it doesn't mean it. Like again, like the whole like Gara ultimate defense. But if you don't have anything that can like hit me,
I mean, he is comparable. Nothing. He is comparable to an already DT Nero, who would already be DMC 3 level.
No, he's not, because Nero specifically says, "I'm not going to kill you. I won't hurt you. I won't do that to Kyrie."
I mean, yeah,
like he's specifically holding back during the fight.
He's still he's still attacking Credo in the fight. Like he's still fighting him.
We don't even see him in the cutscene with Yamato. All he has is the bringer.
I remember in the book Yamato was blocked by Credo's shield. Like I remember he used it. Here's the thing: when Nero's holding back, I don't think he's holding back the ass whooping. I think he's just holding back to not like deliver the final blow.
There's no reason to believe he scales De Niro just because of the shield, because
I
that
will
doesn't mean
have
attack blows
to.
away.
I'll reread Deadly Fortune again and revisit this list later because I think
No,
Deadly
no.
Fortune.
Here's the thing. Based on his feats for the Ascended Sanctus, I think you could probably argue Ascended Sanctus would beat Goliath, because Goliath is an idiot, and Kratos is certainly not an idiot.
On this list, I would put Kratos probably just below Arkham.
I put him above Artemis and Goliath and Lady and.
I'm pretty sure Kratos would be Burial. I'm pretty sure he would be Burial.
I think that could be a close fight.
Well, because here's the thing, DMC fucking 4 before DT Nero could already beat Burial, but Burial gets stronger and comes back. But we don't know how strong he is when he comes back is the problem. Because he does say my powers have weakened when he fought Nero.
No. He says I must restore my power. Yeah, because Nero knocks his flames out. Like,
I mean, if Mission 2 Nero could do that, there's no reason to say Credo couldn't beat him.
Yeah, but he did it with a bringer. That's the problem. He didn't do it with, like, the Red Queen. Yeah, he matched him in physical strength with the Red Queen. If the Red Queen was more durable, he probably would have just beat him with the Red Queen. But, like,
I think we can put Credo just below Arkham. I think that's a fair place to put him.
Sure, but above, where is he with Burial? Is he above or?
I would say he is above Burial, because even if you want to argue Burial's a little stronger, Mr. Infinite Defense over there can basically fucking deal with most of this shit in a nutshell.
Well, the thing is, like, we have to prove that Kratos can actually harm Burial, because if he can, then he wins.
If Nero can harm Burial, and he could, and a stronger Nero is what it takes to beat Credo, I'm gonna have.
Oh wait, are you arguing the Red Queen wasn't enough that if he could parry that, then Kratos' sword would definitely be able to pierce his body?
Kratos would definitely be able. Yeah, because I mean, Nero with the Red Queen can already fucking fight him. Kratos should be able to beat Burial. Unfortunately, you are right when it comes to the power. Well, again, I'll reread Deadly Fortune. Maybe I can find something in there.
Well, if we're going by the Red Queen, then I just realized that he wins by default. If the Red Queen can parry that, and it can even withstand that, that means Kratos' shield by default should be way stronger and more durable. Even if he does a slight amount of damage, it doesn't matter. If that shield can block Yamato, it's blocking anything for the entire fight, for the entirety. This is the reason I say that. The reason I say it matters is because even if he could block every single strike forever, for like years, and their battle kept going, it doesn't matter if he can't damage him. But even a slight amount of damage, he will eventually win. So.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna. I'm not gonna change the list right now. We can change it at the end, but let's just remember to put I'll just go and type in Credo above Burial below Arkham, so that way we don't get confused.
I'll type in a new list.
All right. And then we start getting to the big boy. Yeah, because I was going to say, wait, we're at 7. Okay, so now the final characters left are V, Mundus, Argosax, Sparta, Urizen, Nero, Dante, and Virgil. Because I think we're already going to be... Oh, hang on, let me count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we should be at 8 now because we have fucking Credo. So...
Wait, who do we... Let's see, V,
Mundus, Argosax, Sparta, Urizen, Nero, and Dante are the ones left on the table.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little contentious. I think you could put V below Mundus. Because even though he has Nightmare is clearly not stronger than full power Mundus.
Well, now hang on a minute, because we do have to discuss also the fact that V is a part of this trio as well, and V was able to blow up Nightmare from the inside out.
I mean, even if he did that, like... Nightmare's greatest statement is that he can lay waste to the demon world, to an infinite plane of existence. Even if we're assuming at best that means destroying the entirety of it, that's only 3A.
No, that's 2C. That's 2C.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because there's no suggestion that
there are people there who would fall under fucking fourth dimensional.
No.
And also, we know the demon world has separate space times because of DMC 3. So that infinite demon world does have its own separate space times throughout it. Laying waste to the demon world would probably include the entire space time.
Okay, so even then, how is he going to hit with a giant laser beam before Mundus kills him with like any one of his stupid range attacks and flies away? It's literally just the Savior. Only the Savior is not a dumb fuck now, and the Savior has a better arsenal.
Okay, so clearly, yeah, V's gonna have his work cut out for him. There's no doubt.
Where did we put the savior? Did we put him?
I put him. I put him below Lucia. I put him, but you can change that if you want.
Number 10. Number 10.
So Savior's number 10. Wait. He should be number 9 if you added Credo to the list.
Okay, so that would mean. Wait, where would Lucia be? Number 8 then?
Lucia's number 8, and then we start getting to the to V and all of them.
So would Lucia beat V?
I'm gonna have to say no, only because so we're not dealing with
summon Nightmare.
Fucking Nightmare! I summon you. Oh wait, Nightmare's all the way across the fucking planet. Give me like 5 minutes to get him over here. Well, actually, okay, hang on a minute. How fast can V fire the laser in game? Because in the manga, it happens instantly.
In game, it takes. Okay, you gotta. So, which laser? The basic one?
Okay, so there are times where V can summon Nightmare and he just fires a laser and then he just disappears. Like, not.
So that's because you put in an input sometimes and he'll put it in. But it's also like sometimes he'll randomly put it in. So the jumbo laser where he's like, return them to the underworld, and then like Nightmare gets over in a fetal position and turns into like a turret and fires that massive laser. That thing. That takes way too long to charge. If we're using
so
hitting.
So the first thing on the table is Mundus fights with a fucking Mundus fights with a shield.
Yeah, no.
So that's the first problem we got. That's the first obstacle we got to cross.
He's gonna be like, return to the underworld, fires it, breaks the shield. He's like, oh, you did it, and then makes another one.
Hang on a minute. The sword Sparta, the dragon Sparta throughout could break the shield and still hurt Mundus. So. And now that we know that's not the full power of Sparta, I think we could argue that the Nightmare's laser could probably break the barrier and hurt Mundus.
Even if you want to say that, it's just like how many times...
Mundus is a tough son of a bitch, yeah. Mundus can take a blow and keep going. That motherfucker does not stop for nothing.
Also, any one of his projectiles should be as strong as that universe, because it just scales to his demonic power, so...
Oh, we're talking Mundus?
One shot... Yeah, no, one shot to Griffin, they're in stalemate.
Yeah, because unfortunately those two do not. The fight here is not between fucking like.
Even if we use Super V, it still doesn't matter because Nightmare takes.
No. Super V destroys Mundus.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't because Mundus is stupid enough to camp behind a shield. He'd be like, "Oh, that's a problem. Let me just kill."
Okay, so let's take a look at what happened in the fight. You throw a dragon at him 10 fucking times, and then he realizes. I should do something else.
Yeah, and what's he doing the entire time? What's he doing the entire time in the dragon? He's flying.
Yeah.
He's flying.
Okay, so you're suggesting then that he's just gonna be flying around the entire time, even though
he's literally gonna be flying and shooting projectiles. He's the red lasers that he can fire.
He is invulnerable while he's connected to Nightmare. So at the very least, we know there's a high level of defense.
Wait. That's by like gameplay mechanics. If you're on top of Nightmare, that's not even like accurate.
And the Bloody Palace Super V beats Mundus.
Even. Wait, actually, even if we're using Super V, that doesn't work because even Super V still uses DT.
Actually, hang on. Super V, actually, if we're using Super V, he probably would be able to hurt Mundus on his own. If we're using Super V, he'd probably be able to hurt Mundus with just his own attacks on their own. Again, he was able to fully fucking blow up Nightmare from the inside out.
Super V is just normal V with infinite like demonic
but
power,
V's
so you can just keep summoning.
Power is already massive on its own. Like from the feat, the game tells us he's not that strong.
Yeah, because Nightmare sent him into a dimension. Let me go into your thing from the dimension that you sent me to.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. He blew up every single seal on Nightmare in that process.
Even if he does, it doesn't matter. Like you still have to hit. With the laser.
Okay, so here's how V beats Mundus. V fucking stands there and spams those summon kings over
and then Mundus sits still and then lets
okay, so V can teleport. Nightmare can break through reality. We could argue Nightmare can just like teleport behind the V summons.
But like again, if we're using Super V,
the barrier and then fucks Mundus.
Because this is already in like massive headcanon orders because this is like this is assuming gameplay
Super V would be above Mundus, but normal V is not going to be above Mundus.
I think he probably loses 9 out of 10 times 1 out of 10 times is Mundus is like an idiot, just like, haha, you'll never take my power, and just sits still and lets him blast.
I'm pretty sure Super V, if we go with what we've seen in the game, could probably beat Mundus consistently. Oh, well, actually, there is one other thing, and that's durability. Because I do think V could hurt Mundus. No, any form of V's, or let me be more specific.
Again,
any
if Mundus
form of
hits
V's
V once,
nightmare
he dies.
Could
that's
hurt
the problem.
I mean, we are talking Glass Cannon here, unless we're talking in the Bloody Palace Super V, in which case we're not talking Glass Cannon.
V is a Glass Cannon, even if he's in Super.
And a Bloody Palace V is being added into this. No more Glass Cannon status. Has your Yamato on his cane.
Oh, all right. So as far as Cannon V, because this is Cannon V. V gets hit once, he dies. I've already argued that he would lose to Nello Angelo because Nello Angelo just teleports around the battlefield.
No. Cannon V would beat Nello Angelo, but we can discuss that another day. Another day, Mangler. But okay, so Cannon V.
He's not beating a flying Mundus with 50 different projectiles.
Alright, fine. I'll concede that Cannon V would lose to Mundus.
Look, okay. Do you think he would beat the Sanctus? Or, no, not Sanctus. Do you think he would beat the Savior?
Yeah, V would beat the Savior.
Why do you think he would be the Savior? Tell me.
Well, first off...
I agree with you, but tell me your reasoning.
Well, first off, V can destroy the gems really easily, and V would know to hit the gems, because V has the fucking core, so he knows there's a weakness there. But even if you want to talk straight AP, the Savior's strongest attack, Nightmare can straight up fucking beanball that shit and beat it.
Well, I'm also saying that, like...
Also,
another reason the Savior would lose is that even though he floats and flies in the air, that's only a problem for people who don't have like aerial attacks and have the ability to get him. V doesn't have the problem because
the Savior has the platforms to stand on to begin with. And also, that's not even talking about if we go like full fucking crazy with Nightmare, because if we go like with everything Nightmare shows, the fucker could literally appear inside the Savior, make himself bigger, and blow up the Savior from the inside out.
Well, we have never... Oh, wait, you're talking...
Like, we're talking full potential here, like, of what we've seen. I know, it's fucking bullshit.
That's kind of stupid.
I mean, it is something that canonically could happen, based on what we've seen Nightmare do, because he has no finite shape, and he gets bigger no matter what, and he can get bigger.
Well, I was also going to say the main reason to consider this is that the Savior literally just sits still in midair. Even if you want to argue platforms, he literally just floats there because, like, I'm above you. And Mundus at least has the decency to fly around and make himself a movable target, which makes him infinitely harder to hit. And when your greatest trump card is, I have a giant block that's going to shoot a stationary laser at you. and please don't...
Wait, well, technically, he can fire a laser that moves. He can fire a moving laser, but it's not as powerful as...
Okay, and then, like... Mundus is gonna see him and be like, "Hey, that's Nightmare. I know everything about all of that."
Mundus by spamming his laser and destroying the orbs and beating Mundus by blasting him. I'm gonna be honest here. The only reason Mundus wins against V's Nightmare and V specifically is because of straight durability. Because I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, because Mundus also made the fucking beast head, so he should be omniscient. So he would know everything about all of V's techniques.
Fucking like that ain't gonna stop V. V's gonna be like, I'll just fucking change take my role.
No, he'll just be like, wait a minute, I just have to kill you. And he hits. So what will happen is that V will use Shadow once to save himself, and then he'll just kill V.
There is one other thing we have to mention. Can V restore his body with the summons? Because in the manga, he could do it the first time, and that's something we have to factor in.
How many times can he do that? Because V...
Okay, again, so if we go full potential V, not including Super V or anything like that, like just full potential what V can do himself with everything we've seen, I do think Mundus would only win because of durability, but V would be a fucking massive threat to him.
Like, okay, so what's stopping him? What's stopping him from like Mundus literally fapping out a black hole, sending of space, and then killing it? Like he literally created a universe. Like there's no reason.
Nightmare can just suck V into himself and then just get him out like that. Nightmare
he can just keep doing it. Then he can just keep doing it until it runs out of.
I mean, but how many times do you think V's gonna? How many times do you think it's gonna work on V? V is a smart person. How many times do you think attack's gonna work on him?
It doesn't matter how smart you are. It's a matter of stamina. Like he made a universe which is billions of times greater, billions upon billions of times greater than a black hole.
Mundus can outlast Cannon V. I agree with you. But all of these powers and abilities could be hard count. Also,
Dude,
let's say he fucking creates a fucking sends him into space. Nightmare's like, yoink! I'll bring you back to this dimension. Now he's gonna do it. Oh, he's gonna do it again. I'll just do it again.
Yeah, well,
We need more specific details on V, but I will concede for now that Canon V will be below Mundus, but only because of durability.
Okay. I'll note it that you're a baby.
I'm right here.
Wait, I'm still doing the list, so just keep going. Who else do we have?
Mundus is next. Obviously, we're not talking about novel. And then... Okay, so actually, Argo Sax is on the list. Now, I guess to be fair, let's not talk Despair Embodied. Let's talk Argo Sax specifically.
I still think, even though they're rivals, Mundus would be base Argosax, because Argosax's abilities consist of being a giant blob of a bunch of bosses sitting in a room attempting to attack a flying target.
Okay, so you're saying Mundus would win strictly because of like abilities here?
Well, if we're using, even if he had the same abilities, it's the fact that he's a stationary target, and they're comparable to each other, so both of them could kill each other. But Mundus just has to fly. Okay. That's literally win the fight.
Okay,
but
yeah, all right.
Despair Embodied, that's
Despair Embodied would be above Mundus, but Argo Sax, as in the first base Argo Sax, would probably lose to Mundus because he has no original abilities of his own. And Mundus
Despair Embodied just transforms and then is like, this fight is over. Teleports behind him. Nothing personal, kid.
Well, actually, wait, hang on a minute. If we're talking base Argo Sax, like Blob Argo Sax, what about V?
I mean,
against base,
if he's just a stationary again, like the reason I use stationary is because the laser takes some time to charge up. Even if you want to use like the visions of V, he has to summon Nightmare, which doesn't take an instant; it takes a couple seconds.
DMC game laughs in your face.
Here
comes Nightmare on a meteor shower.
So all he has to hit him is like one laser.
I mean, but let's take a look at the attacks. Let's take a look at the attacks. Argo Sax brings to the table. Lightning. V can dodge lightning.
Griffin's lasers.
Yeah, V can dodge that pretty easily.
The orangutans.
Sonic Boom.
Opera song waves.
Okay. The fucking tentacle thing's poison.
Which is easy to avoid because you just don't get hit by the tentacle.
The fucking the Balrog shit. And I think there's one left, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple. Well, no, there's Phantom's Fire. The only ones that are Phantom's Fire, Griffin's lasers, and Tower of Chaos. The Tower of Chaos is light attacks. Remember that thing that shoots like?
Oh yeah, well no, yeah. You mean fucking the city? He's the entire city.
Yeah. But here's the problem that they're not that strong. Because Argosax's ability is either divided among them, or they're significantly weaker than his entire body. So V just has to find the one that's the most problematic, and he already knows 2/6 of their abilities because he knows what Phantom and Griffin. He literally has Griffin with him.
So he also does kill Phantom with Shadow, so there's that.
Yeah, no. He already knows those two. The orangutan, the tentacle thing can't hit him because it's close range. The stupid fire beast thing can't hit him because that's close range. So the only thing he has is orangutan, the Tower of Chaos, and then like the two other range abilities, half of which V already knows how to counter.
I do think V could be Argo Sax in the blob form. Because again, if I can argue him fighting Mundus, there's no way he's gonna lose to the blob.
Yeah, no. There's no way he's losing to target.
Okay, so Argo Sax will be and specified not Despair because that is important. Some people don't fucking get that.
Despair Embodied kill Mundus and V even if they're teamed up. They both die.
I was hoping deep down that V would get a Mundus or Despair Embodied summon, but then Capcom's like, no, we don't love you, Zim.
Don't summon the 3 eyes. It's too much.
Imagine if he summoned the fucking 3 eyes in like one of his attacks. That'd be so fucking cool. They should have fucking done that. Whatever. Okay, yeah. So Argo Sax blob form below V, Mundus above V, and this is mainly due to abilities here at this point, not really power.
Oh yeah, I would also put which Nero is in there. I'd probably put Nero. I think you could argue Nero would beat Blob Argosax at 5. Because all he has to do is punch out the heads of like a
If
bunch
he
of
can be
dumbass
Blob
demons.
well, no, hang on a minute. If we're gonna so I guess let's get into this. So we have the 4 Spartas. Well, we have yours in 2, but yours in. I'm assuming you're gonna safely put yours in above Nero.
Sparta beats all the. Well, okay, Despair and Body is a little different, but like we'll get to him.
Okay, so
Can we
Sparta
argue
beats
that
every version of the character on the list as they are on the list.
including Despair and Body?
Well, no. I'm saying Argos. He'd beat Argosax, but he would not beat Despair and Body or Void Mundus.
Wait. Is this full power Sparta, or is this just the Sparta that fought? Because if this is full power Sparta, there's no reason he's losing to Argosax or the Despair and Body. Like,
Well,
there's.
well, here's the problem. Okay, so first things first. Are we gonna put yours in above Nero? Or do you want to argue that? Okay. So let's focus on Nero for now, and then we'll go afterwards.
So wait, let me just make out the list now.
Yeah.
So
let's see the list.
Okay, so I've got Proto Angelo, Lady Full Arsenal.
Oh, and in case you're wondering, Mangler, we've already been here for an hour.
That's good. It means we're making progress. The Artemis should be number 17.
To clarify for anyone watching, whoever watching at this point, this would not be mine and Mangler's top 20 most powerful. There are characters missing and characters who are just not on the list.
No.
So our list would be different. Although I think our top 10 area would be pretty similar, just because, well, these are the top dogs.
So, what else did we put in our list? You put Sanctus in-game below Trish, and then, let's see. Oh, yeah, and then Arkham. Let's see. Okay. Credo, number 15. Arkham, number 14, I think.
Yeah, let me see here. Arkham is at... No, Arkham's at 13. You just moved them all down a step.
You sure?
Well, okay, wait, okay, so I'm talking
I have 20, 19, 18, 17.
Okay, who do you have at 15?
Credo. And then 14 at Arkham.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, yeah, continue.
Burial and Arkham is still included in there, so don't worry, I didn't forget them.
Yeah, so let's just make sure we don't forget people. And then I guess to set up the next list...
Sanctus. End of game.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Trish, Cavalier Angelo, Malphus... okay, so I guess for people who are going to be asking this one, because I know people are going to ask this one anyways, because they asked last time we did the live stream, you want to give your reasoning real quickly for why Trish would be above fucking like DMC4 Nero and shit?
Hang on, we'll go over that after the list.
Alright.
I just put Cavalier Trish for some reason.
I mean, it's not
Not wrong, but it's not right either. Let's see. Malphus, and then Savior after Malphus, and then Lucia, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Savior. Then Lucia. We're at number 8. Okay. So
and number 8 or number 7 would be Argosax, because we're talking about the blob form specifically.
Are we just adding placements?
Well, okay, do you want to first put the list out, and then we'll add, like, the big boys in?
Yeah.
Alright. So I guess just go ahead and type the list out, or, like, post it, and then we can go over it, and then we'll just add
I'll just put, like, what's it called? 7.5 Argosax blob form.
Do you want to just make a 7 Despair and Body? Because if we're going to make 7 Despair and Body, we have to make him stronger than Mundus.
I mean... No. We're just using based off of this list.
Yeah, so just put blob form Argosax, which would be 7, and then okay. Show me everything before 7.
I've got everything before 7. Now I'm at 7, and then we have Nero.
You're gonna put Nero below all of them?
I'm gonna put Nero below V because we don't have any feats that suggest.
Okay, but we're gonna put V above Argosax's blob form, so. So the list right now should look like...
We're putting Nero above it, too.
Okay, so Argosax is going... Okay, so then why wouldn't we put Nero above Mundus?
Because it's just the blob form. It's like how is he supposed to hit Mundus? Like, how is
Well,
Nero
okay.
gonna do anything to my?
If Nero can hurt Blob form Argosax, he can hurt Moondis. And
No, no,
also,
no. I don't dispute that he
Nero
can't
can fly
hurt
in
me.
base. Nero can fly in base form, so Nero has like the perfect way to go about this fight. Moondis
He
can't
can
escape
fly
Nero.
in, but how is he going to like survive hits from his like?
Well, because they're
That's
comparable in strength.
no.
If you're arguing Moondis can hurt Argosax, he would have to be able to fucking hurt Moondis, and by that logic, he would be able to tank Moondis' attacks.
Well, no, because I'm arguing that hitting the blob form, you're just
That
hitting
hit.
the heads, which are composed of
Oh,
weaker.
okay. So you're arguing specifically for weakness here, not like.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird because it's a blob. It's not really like we. I this is why I was like I didn't. Whenever I say Argosax is comparable, the Chaos is comparable to him. When I refer to the blob form, I mean like what Argosax would have been theoretically, because the blob form is literally just a bunch of weaker demons.
Okay.
So it's
So all right.
vastly inconsistent to say it's like you could say the blob in the middle like that durability, but the demons on the outside are not. They do not scale to Argosax. They're way weaker than he is because they're just the bosses.
Okay, so you're saying Nero can hurt the blob then?
Yeah, I don't think he could hurt the blob. I think he could hurt everything around the blob.
But not
And
the
then
blob
if
itself.
if the blob has like gets too impatient, it'll just shit out despair and body, and then he dies. Like,
okay,
so.
We'll talk about Nero more specifically after the fact. But okay, so then all right, so then Argosax,
Then
whatever 7, then Nero, then V, then Moondis, and then we get to the top 4.
Okay, so here's then I'm gonna put despair embodied after this, which is I'll just put like what's it called?
Just leave Despair Bodied out because we're leaving Void Moondis out for now.
No. We're not including novels. We're just saying this list, but specifying because of Blob. That's or Blob Argosax. That's the only reason we're making another listing.
All right. We'll talk about the details after the fact. So we should be down to the top 4 now, which is Urizen, Sparta, and Dante. And wait, no, actually, wait, hang on a minute.
Despair embodied. Here, I'll put it there.
Are we missing somebody?
This is the list.
Okay. So, Proto-Angelo, Lady, Goliath, Artemis, Burial, Credo, Arkham, Sanctious, Trish, Cavalier-Angelo, Malphus, 9, Savior, 8, Lucia, 7.5, Argosax Blog Form, 7, Nero, 6B, 5...
Well, wait a minute. If we're considering Nero...
Are we missing somebody? Because we added a character.
We only added... No, because all we have left is Sparta, Dante, and... Are we missing someone?
Well, Urizen's here, so we have Sparta, Urizen...
Yeah, no, Urizen. Yeah, no, we're not missing. No, Dante and Virgil take up one spot together. They're tied.
Okay, but we
That's
have
why.
3 slots left, so... Yeah, you're right.
Oh, wait, now I may have made a mistake.
Yeah,
so
I think we are missing somebody. Wait.
No, not in terms of placing. I'm saying in terms of like the number of placings, the placing specifically. So I think you could argue V beats fucking Lucia, but would Nero beat Lucia? That's the because we haven't talked about it.
Okay, Mangler, let's get a semi-list out here, and then we'll talk the details afterwards.
Okay. All right. So after
I do think the list, there are characters who could beat other characters in different spots on the list. I will say that one.
So for Sparta's really tricky.
Okay, now the question on the table here is, it's not really a question of Sparta versus the others. It's Sparta versus Urizen.
Well, technically, the Rebellion and Yamato have portions of his power combined with the Sparta, so actually Sparta's still relevant.
I fucking hate Capcom's retcon there. That was so fucking stupid.
Okay, so as far as actual power, we never had any statements in 1 or 4 that suggest he surpassed him. I remember, like, the only statements we have are people who believe he has surpassed Sparta, which is not credible.
The only direct statement we have that Dante ever surpassed Sparta prior to 4 was in 2, where it says the hunter will surpass all who came before him. But you could argue that's a will, so you could argue that's still a future tense thing. Or no, does it say has surpassed all who came? Let me
No, it will.
Is it will?
It's will.
Okay,
so
okay. Well, hang on. Just to make sure, I don't want to fucking have this conversation.
But considering the fact DMC2 is an unfinished game, 4 and 1, which are more finished games, which have more clarified statements, are factually incorrect. I have a hard time believing 2 when 2 is weaker than 4.
Okay, it says the hunter shall surpass all who came before him, so we could argue that's a future tense.
Shall, will, same
so
thing.
we can argue that's a future tense thing. So DMC2 statement doesn't apply here for now.
So I think you could say that Sparta, based on his statements, that there's no reason to believe DMC4 or DMC1 Dante would have surpassed him.
Let's be clear. DMC5 retcon Sparta's power to make him stronger than the other forms of Dante. No doubt.
Yeah.
So the question
But the Sparta form had to make up the difference with Rebellion.
Yeah, okay, see, it's because we don't know what the fuck the split is, That's the problem here.
Yeah, I know. We can't confirm whether it's a third or like anything. So
Okay. So let's go over the facts here. Rebellion and the Sparta combined with Dante's power or multiplied on Dante's power. We don't. Oh, we're gonna be getting a lot of estimation here, ladies and gentlemen.
Look. We can argue. We can argue that Sparta is definitely above the Disparate Body because I think full power Sparta
we're talking
is
full
because
power. We're talking full power Sparta, right?
full power Sparta because even a little bit of Sparta's DNA was enough to buff Chen with the Beast Heads. Again, a weaker icon of the Mundus.
Okay, so would we say full power Sparta?
Novel.
Will we say full power Sparta could be Void Mundus then?
Yeah, I'd probably be up and down for that. For stating that.
Alright, so then full power Sparta, normal Sparta would not be Void Mundus or Despair Bodied. The Sparta like we kind of know.
What is normal Sparta like after he's sealed everything?
Yeah, normal Sparta is like after he's because a lot of Sparta's shit happens after he sealed his power.
Normal Sparta didn't even beat base Argosax the Chaos.
Yeah, so
he's literally like, hey, Guardian.
If we were to put normal Sparta on the list, I would put him just below the Savior, probably.
Oof. Hard times.
Hard times have befallen the Sparta times. Okay, but so the question on the table is full power versus Urizen, and unfortunately, he doesn't specify which Urizen.
Yeah, so even if the problem is that we have feats for Urizen, but we don't have feats for Sparta at full power.
Okay, so
we only have reason to believe he's stronger than like the DMC Dante.
We do have like semi-feats for Sparta at full power. He was able to completely split the human world and demon world in space and time. And then he was able to fight an infinite army of demons, which is half the demon world somehow.
I mean, you could easily chalk that up. You could easily chalk that up to either stamina or like his various abilities, because again, like Moon just fapped out of the universe.
But still, like, so we have some feats for Sparta, but we just don't have like the feats that are big enough to say he'd be like superior to Urizen.
Right. Well, I mean, like, remember, Mundus created a weakened, like, again, the unsealed nightmare would potentially lay waste to an infinite 3-dimensional plane. He's like, yeah, that's a problem, and I can just.
World is 2C, Mangler, or whatever.
Regardless, actually, even if you believe that, then you should be therefore willing to concede that like Mundus would be able to create like an infinite 3-dimensional universe whenever he wants to, and he could just flick it out. Yeah, so Sparta splitting the human world is only a little bit more impressive by like that margin.
Well, let's also remember he basically said "F you" to all the other demon kings too.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's like Demon King. He's just fertile.
Argosax over there chilling out casually, being like, "Oh man, I'm having a wonderful. What the fuck is going on?" Okay, so no Urizen. Okay, so let's talk each form of Urizen. We have Chair Urizen, which is getting consistently pumped with blood. Then we have Standing Urizen, which has the armor, which is
just Chair Urizen that's gotten up.
But the armor, more attacks, Mangler. Come on now.
And he still has the crystal.
Fruit Urizen, who absorbed the crystal into himself before getting the fruit, and then ate the fruit.
And went Super Saiyan.
But apparently he loses defensive ability with that fucking drawback somehow.
You're basically gonna. The only argument that you can have that Sparta beats Urizen is if you're like, well, Nero cut Urizen, so that must mean that. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of demons in terms of their durability isn't that impressive, but again, like, that doesn't mean you can damage it, because durability is factored very differently for any DMC that has a factor.
I think there's a difference here between durability and like actual damage. I don't think their bodies are representative of how much their actual damage
Yeah, no. Like we need to physically, like, visually show or have a statement that suggests they took damage. If it's confirmed they have a healing factor. It's not enough to just be like, Like, no, not if you can just heal. Because then, by that argument, Dante took damage from Lady's gunshot to the head. Like, so.
Okay. But regarding fucking Urizen, so Urizen in base form is already vastly superior to like some Moondis. Like before he even fucking gets the chip.
Why do we even mention Moondis anymore?
Well, because fucking Moondis is the only one who survived getting clapped by Sparta at full power.
Look, Moondis only survived because Sparta wanted him to, because Sparta couldn't bring himself to kill him.
It's
we
like,
know this.
I'm not gonna kill you, brother. Wrong franchise, asshole.
No, correct franchise. Reboot stole it.
Okay. So then we're gonna put full power Sparta below every form of Urizen.
I would just say every form of Urizen just for the sake of consistency, because we don't have the feats to say.
Even if we assume Sparta is stronger than like Chair Urizen, he's not gonna win the fight.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Urizen's just getting strong. Like, again, how much blood? The thing is, even if you want to say full power Sparta strong, unless you say full power Sparta scales to all the power of the Rebellion and Yamato that they ever have, which is just saying that he's stronger than Dante and Virgil no matter what, unless they get a different devil arm. Unless you believe that, then he's...
I want to find out that Sparta like retroactively made it to where he always gets stronger when they make their sword stronger.
Yeah, he just gets revived and he's just more powerful than both of them combined. And he's like... so, after Urizen, I think it's fair to put Dante. If we're gonna... Well, after that, we would put Urizen as number 2, and Dante and Virgil. I guess you could put them equal, but like if we're gonna make like,
if we're
gonna be honest,
specifics, Virgil's gonna be number 1.
Yeah, no, Virgil's winning. Like even if you want to, they won. Like putting all of their differences aside, or not their differences aside, in terms of their problems with each other and their struggles, and let's just say for hypothetical reasons, we're having them fight each other. With complete knowledge and everything, Virgil is winning because Virgil definitively just has. I mean, let's be honest; they can both counter most of the stuff that they can do, but like Virgil has better stamina usage, and they have equal stats.
Has better endurance and stamina, and that just gives him the win here. Yeah,
and Yamato is just so power creeps everything in his arsenal. Even if Dante had everything, save for like Alistair.
Cerberus.
Save for Alistair.
Cerberus.
Why would Cerberus
You're
mean anything?
saying the all-powerful weapon Cerberus really weird there, Mangler.
I'd rather have a sword that just augments my strength beyond its normal capacities.
And this is why you would lose, Mangler.
Or maybe Pandora, because, well, doppelganger shit. But I mean, if we're using in-game play, technically Virgil also has doppelganger.
Dude, just accept that boss attacks are fucking canon. Just leave it be. You and Devil can go suck a fat one.
I mean, I have a hard time believing that when it's like a character that could potentially be playable. Give me a Virgil DLC, then we'll talk. If we're anyone else but Virgil, okay, maybe. Dude, Virgil, fine. No.
Yes, freaking ruin.
Yes. Whatever. Now's not the time.
So I think Virgil would again. It would like most difficult fight of his life, and it's gonna take literally everything he has. But he's gonna beat Dante. Yeah, he'll just outlast him.
Yeah, because he can just outlast him.
It'll take again. He'll be taxed. It'll be basically Dante versus Urizen. He's like barely alive, but he's probably still gonna win.
And then we put so then if we were to separate them, we would. So do you want to put Dante like at 1.5?
Yeah, hang on.
Sparta, hypothetically full power.
Wait, I forgot the number. There we go. And then...
Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know? Is this the right one?
Okay, so that is our list if we took and then listed it. From top to bottom, we have Proto-Angelo, Lady, Full Arsenal, Goliath, Artemis, Burial, Credo, Arkham, Sanctus at the end of the game, Trish, Cavalier Angelo, Malphus, the Savior, Lucia. Okay, so when I got to Lucia, we're gonna go back and like look at that because I said like if Lucia can beat the forms of like the stuff of like Argosax's blob form, which I said he could beat the demons that are attached to it, not the actual blob.
Okay, if we're talking, okay, I don't think we can fairly put characters above like Argosax's blob form if they can beat the demons attached because they can't really kill the blob itself. But
Okay, then if that's true, then in reality, like, well, I think you could probably argue V would still beat the blob because
no,
he has
V would
Nightmare.
beat the blob because of Nightmare, like canon
So,
V, not
so that would
Zamatorn approved. Epic Bloody Palace, Super V,
headcanon crackpot V.
full power V, 100% complete V.
So then in reality, the only thing that changes on this list because Argosax gets moved up to 7, and then Nero gets
7.5. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest here. I do think Nero is stronger than you give him credit for. I do understand, because of what his feat was, it's really in contention. But
no. I can't give him credit unless we have like a strong base Nero. Then I can say, all right, DT, we're getting wanked.
like, yeah, it's because so it really depends on how far we assume Dante and Virgil are weakened. I really wish we would. God, I really wish there was a fucking.
You have a statement that's just like they're gonna die in the next hit. And I'm like, well, how much stamina? It's like doesn't specify, so I have to assume the base is literally about to die with the next hit.
I would say if one more hit's gonna kill them from each other, there's no way in hell that's going to be fucking like. There's no way in hell they're not on the like really close to death.
And then they're just like, oh, we're back to being normal. And then Virgil's just like, well, actually, I don't want to fight you. Really? No, we can't get a solid feat out of this. You're weakened and you don't want to kill him? Jesus.
Nero, just stop. I'm your dad.
Just wait until I get refreshed and then I'll just kick your ass real quick.
Please, son, give me like 5 minutes.
So I guess if we go back down the list a little bit, Nero at bare minimum is above Malphus because he literally just killed Malphus. So
I would say if we're talking again, so personally AP, I think Nero should be a bit higher, but if we're talking objective, I think Nero should be above Savior.
Which Savior are we using? Is this like Savior with the Sanctus inside of it, or just like Savior? Because I was assuming this was Savior that shows up in like Mission 18, because that's why I put.
Yeah, that's full power Savior. That's not going to change.
Hmm.
I think DT and the 5 Nero, because he can use a Spectral Yamato. We can assume that's comparable to some of Yamato's attacks, and that can hurt the Savior.
I mean, no, it shouldn't have the attack potency though. It doesn't have the ability to cut through literally any.
I have no fucking clue.
But even if it doesn't,
I saw that guy leave throughout the door the other way. I have no fucking clue. Sorry.
Even if it doesn't have the ability to cut through literally anything, it still should have the ability to cut the crystals. It's just a question of whether or not Nero is tactical enough, intelligent enough to like.
Well, no, Nero would have beat the Savior in a fight.
Because this is DMC 5 Nero, so he's fought the weakened Savior before.
DMC 5 Nero is stronger than DMC 4 Nero.
Yeah, no, I know, but like he fought the weakened Savior with no crystals on its knees. Because I said in terms of like raw strength, it shouldn't be too different. But like this is like full power Savior. This is a Savior with DMC 4 Nero in it, and the Sparta Sword powering it with the Ascended Sanctus inside it, remotely controlling it. So it's like.
I do think DMC 5 Endgame Nero could probably beat that. I do think he could because
Here's the thing. If he, what's it called? I think if he makes contact with Savior, we assume that he just absorbs energy from it. He's gonna win.
If we assume he's gonna win over time. Thing is like full on correct. Like he does just absorb power.
Every time he gets to a crystal, he's just gonna suck, get stronger, and then eventually he's.
Are you saying he would suck the Savior dry?
Yes. Just as Kyrie always wanted.
Kyrie's like that's hot.
So this depends on how he would.
By the way, guys, tier 0 here would be Kyrie, but she's not on the list.
Yeah, no, she can't be put on any list because she's tier 0 by default. The list always stops at 1. And then what's it called? So really, the only contention I think that we have on the list is Nero versus Lucia. So this one is really fucking complicated for me because even if you want to say Nero can like absorb most of her shit.
Okay, I
She's
don't
got
think Nero's
he's
gonna
got the
absorb Lucia because we don't see him absorb a lot of the opponents he fights.
no. He's absorbed energy from DTs. He's canceled out the Sin DT, so there's no reason. Even if it's like a weakened thing, he's definitely in the same tier as Lucia. Whether you
Okay.
think she's stronger or weaker,
Okay,
definitely.
so we're gonna be so I guess let's debate this one. So DMC five Nero end of game versus
Well,
Lucia
I'm just
end
saying,
of
like
novel.
we only really have to consider like if Lucia hits him while she has the quick amulet, is he gonna lose the fight in like
Well, okay,
seconds?
okay, okay. So I think Nero can tank a lot of what Lucia can throw out, but here's the thing: Lucia has access to all the amulets. Now the question on the table is: can Nero counter the Chrono Hearts? I think that's going to
Can
be
he counter the cranky bombs?
which
He's gonna be like, no, no.
is the only actual statement in DMC that confirms explosions are higher density than what they actually are. So the
Well, I
Cranky
mean,
Bomb's
if he,
explosion is way more powerful than it actually looks.
well, no. I was gonna say, I was just saying that meme because the cranky bomb is like so slow to throw in gameplay, but that shouldn't affect lore because again, like she just has DT. She can just infuse her weapons with more demonic power and just chuck them at you. So like her cranky bombs are gonna be way stronger than
Can
theirs
we
are. So
assume
she's
Nero
gotta.
can fucking drain the Cranky Bombs as she throws them out?
I mean, I would assume that he'd be able to drain like
I
her
don't know.
sword
I feel like we're
thing,
giving
but
Nero.
not an explosive. An
I
explosive seems a little.
I feel like okay. So
Explosive seems a little silly.
regarding the demonic energy draining, I really think we should ask Kamiya at some point if Nero can actually do this shit. I feel like we
Why
need
would
to.
we ask Kamiya?
Right, whatever. Itsuno, my bad. I keep
Oh.
forget. I keep mixing up them because I keep forgetting about
Well,
fucking
we know he can
Konami
drain
too.
because he did it in 5. We
Well,
don't
no,
have an
see,
official confirmation if he can cancel though.
well,
That's the one thing that's weird.
well, okay,
Because
because what we saw was we saw them go out of DT, but for all we know, they could have just been on the last sparks of their fight. Like that was just the last
well, he
hit.
does it the moment they make contact with him.
Yeah,
Um,
so maybe one of us should ask Matt Walker at some
well,
point.
I'm saying as far as draining, we can confirm he has draining. He did that to Kratos,
No,
and Kratos didn't go out immediately,
yeah.
and he
So we can
he
confirm
literally
he can.
absorbed it.
Yeah, he can absorb abilities and shit from people. But Credo has a shield later on, doesn't he? He gets it back later on.
Yeah, but he just took it from him. It's
Yeah.
not like he
So we
took
know
the
Nero
entire
can
shield and just drained.
absorb abilities and then gain some ability and result to that. Usually something
Well,
that's
he can absorb
beneficial.
demonic power, but the thing is, with that also comes abilities. So if he grabs Lucia, could he take some pseudo Chrono Hearts? Because this is also Nero with the breakers. Like, like Nero has the breakers with him.
I don't think he could absorb the heart specifically or the abilities of the heart without.
Actually, would it even matter? Because he has ragtime. Like,
Well, the question on the table is: do we assume Chrono Heart fucking counters
beats
Ragtime?
ragtime.
Well,
I
no, Chrono
mean,
Heart beats Ragtime. Chrono Heart by itself beats Ragtime. Chrono Heart's a complete stop. Ragtime's
because
like
he has to
jump.
destroy the entire breaker to activate it for like 2 seconds, and then assuming if Lucia has more demonic power than him, she could literally just bust out by DTing.
Lucia
So
could. I think Lucia could break the little orbs. I don't think. Again, so if Chrono Heart works, which again it should work the way it does, hers will be superior to Nero. But the question on the table is: does Nero still have the Chrono Key?
no, he doesn't,
Well,
because
hang on.
Dante picks up all of his and puts
Oh,
them back in their
right,
location.
right, 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 right. He lets it go at the
So
fucking.
he does not have the key to time.
I was gonna say because if Nero has the Chrono Key, that would make him immune to time manipulation.
Now let's remember this isn't like Quicksilver Ragtime where she has more control of it. She does have to hit him.
No, all she has to do is all she has to do is fucking attack, and time stops.
Cast all of her projectiles multiply multiple times.
So literally, if she
Even
starts spamming daggers, every time she throws a dagger, time's gonna stop.
yeah,
Mangler?
if you want to say as far as canon, we don't have confirmation that it has to hit him. I'm not gonna go that route. But
Canonically just says stop time while you're attacking. So all you have to do is have an attack going out, and that
never mind. Then Nero loses,
yeah,
because
Canonically
like, there's nothing he can do.
like we're not talking V here, we're talking fucking Nero.
Like, well, the problem, like, I guess you would have if you can prove that Nero has more demonic power, then he's not going to be affected by Chrono Heart because again, he can literally just shit out because it's the weaker powers get pushed out.
I mean, it would
is
still
just like
affect him,
spiritual
though.
pressure.
Even if he's stronger than Lucia, it's not an well, unless we assume he is comparable to Dante and Virgil or Urizen, then we can say
Well,
that.
like, let's see. What does he fight that we can confirm that's strong? Like, we know DMC4 Nero is compared to DMC3 Nero, so DMC5 Nero should probably be somewhere in DMC1's tier. It's just he's had less time, but he's had more blood, but he hasn't quite had the blood boost. the true blood boost, as
The
we'll
true
call
blood
it.
boost occurs at the end of DMC5. I think we can call it that one.
Well, if that's true, then he hasn't really had any time, unless we're just going to be like,
Yep.
Well, actually, if that's true, then he wouldn't Nero after he recovers be like thousands, tens of thousands of times stronger, like millions.
I mean, again, I personally think Nero could put up a good fight against Urizen.
Because if we're saying true blood, the
One game,
the thing is
just one.
The true blood boost is that they do a feat afterwards that demonstrates like balls to the walls, and then we're like, all right.
I mean, technically,
because like
the feat is technically there. It's when Nero is able to fucking speed blitz Dante and Virgil. Even on the verge of death, they're still in Sin DT. That should be comparable to.
I mean, even if you wanted to say it's speed, the problem is like you can't find power because they're weakened. Like.
Itsuno, why couldn't you have just made it like at the start of the fight, given Nero?
This is complicated because like Lucia's best feats, and in terms of where we can measure her, a lot of them just come from Phantom because since she kills Phantom, we have like a ranking. We know she can beat any of the generals, no problem, because she just obliterates Phantom.
She also beats Arius powered Argosax. That should be superior to generals as well.
Yeah, but she gets the humanity boost. Then she beats Phantom before the humanity boost without DT,
yeah.
and then she gets the humanity boost, and then she beats him in base with no DT. So it's kind of like. What do you even like? Whereas Nero's thing is just he killed Burial, he killed Echidna, Bale, which Burial's the only one of those who has any like kind of scaling because he has the title.
Virgil does acknowledge Nero, so I really wish there was more fucking. There really needs
like no. If we're considering it by your recommendation, Nero just like picks up Lucia and like rips her mid cage in half. Like,
see, that's what I'm saying. Because if Nero can actually fight fucking Urizen,
if not, this you might be able to argue this is like a really. I think you can argue otherwise. This is a really tricky fight because it's hard to figure out like. Because in theory, if he can just find a way, either if he's unaffected by the Chrono Heart, it only affects him at certain points, he may be able to outlast her if he can grab her, if he can get a hold of her. Or if he can, like, counter... Because he does have summon swords. He doesn't lose those. So, in theory, he could try and counter her daggers, but every time she fires a dagger, she fires 8. He has to pull out his gun and, like, manually fire them.
Look, if we're talking a close, like, equalized fight, Lucia's going to win, because Lucia has just more abilities at her disposal. But if we're talking sheer AP, which... Again, maybe I'll ask fucking Matt one of these days about the whole absorption shit and see what goes on there.
Well, like, all he has to do is, like, grab her and suck out her, like, demonic energy. Like, and just keep doing that. But, like, again, we have to prove that he can grab her. Like, that's the problem. And I have to prove the Chrono Heart can affect him.
Well, again, so in order for the Chrono Heart to not affect her, we would have to confirm an AP stomp. But we can't confirm that right now unless we do assume that, DMC5's feet there. Why the fuck didn't this go through?
This is a tricky fight. I think someone has asked me before about like Lucia versus Nero, and I was like, I can neither confirm nor deny the outcome of that because I don't know.
No, what's it matter? You know it anyway. It really just depends on the situation of where we put Nero's power at, in my personal opinion. If we're saying they're somewhat equal, I think Lucia would take that fight even at the end of DMC5. But if Nero is stronger at the end of DMC5, then Nero would win that fight.
But if we're gonna like say they're somewhat, then that still means the Chrono Heart is gonna drop off because it should be inferior to Quicksilver, shouldn't it?
No, the Chrono Heart's a complete time stop.
Not in gameplay, but is it stated in lore that's a time stop?
I'll check the guidebook.
Time to check DMC2. Well, because I'm trying to actually hang on. Let me Let me put in DMC2 right now. How about that?
Well, alright, let's check and see. In the meantime, I'm gonna be fucking buying some DLC for Dead or Alive in the meantime while we're still
Doing
recording
your
fucking video.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry these things take a while.
Oh! Wait, I thought the fucking sale was gone already for Anime Month.
Should still be here.
Well, it's because I was thinking of buying Code Vein the other day, Code Vein, but it was off sale already.
Actually, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Wow, Mangler gonna abandon me in the middle. Okay, I can actually wait. Hang on, I can pause videos. We'll be back.
What?
Go ahead, continue. Now that we're resuming.
Okay. So I'm looking at DMC2 right now in the equip section after loading Dante. It doesn't matter which one I load because they both have the exact same description. And the Chrono Heart says attacks by manipulating time in Devil Trigger. So, yeah, I mean, it's just manipulating time, so it'd be on the same level as Quicksilver. Only,
if we're talking fucking, well, okay, so we're talking normal Quicksilver, alright, that's fine, but
yeah,
hers is gonna last longer, and hers is gonna be more consistently used because Nero has ragtime only.
Well, hang on. Which are we using? End of game Nero, the one that fights Virgil that has regenerating DT, or like? Because we're using that Nero, he wins because he has literally like infinite fucking DT.
Even if he has infinite fucking DT, Lucia's got way more abilities at her disposal that we know Nero.
It doesn't matter.
Does it fucking matter? Let me increase my attack power by 10 times the amount.
Yeah,
Let me make myself 10 times faster. Well,
yes, so can Nero. So can Nero.
No, he can't. He only has the DT boost, which she also has. Oh, here we go. Rewards.
Yeah, but it would be bigger for him because he's 3/4 human.
Yeah, but she has the amulet to back her up. So, actually, hang on a minute. We don't know. We don't know
how. Yeah, again, we don't know how strong the amulet makes.
No. We know the amulets are like fucking. The game itself says like fucking 10 times, I believe.
What? As far as actual DMC?
Yeah, like I don't think it's in the game itself. I think it's in the guidebook. But
it says enhances your attack power with Devil Trigger.
Look.
Wow.
Even if we want to assume Nero's stronger, she does have things that could fucking set up the... Ooh, hot deal. $5 Microsoft
well, it's like Nero has like, what, 8 breakers, Red Queen, Blue Rose, and all of his DT abilities, along with the Bringer abilities, and she's got Cranky Bombs, and then Cranky Bombs, Knives, for like dual scimitars, and then like the DT versions of that with the Chrono Heart.
Nice.
So she's got good abilities for dealing with like average demons. If she were fighting Trish, yeah, even if Trish were equalized, I'd argue she'd beat her. With Nero, if it was DMC for Nero equalized,
all your downplay is disgusting me, Mangler.
What are you talking about? I was rooting for Lucia.
That Lucia would win or die.
Wait. Remember, this is regenerated. This is like the only the Nero that fights. Nero at the end of the game, I think you could probably argue he'd lose. Because he just doesn't have the DT to outlast Lucia. Because Lucia's had the DT. So we can assume she's had it for like years. Longer, and that she can maintain it longer than...
I mean, Lucia has more experiences all across the board.
So as far as the actual description for Chrono Heart, it just says attacks by manipulating time. As far as gameplay, it only slows them down. It doesn't stop them. Which means it loses to ragtime if Nero goes into DT.
No, because we also don't know if that would also give her fucking some immunity to time manipulation as well.
Why would that?
Because it's literally the power of the fucking of a god of
time. It doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because you can have literally have power over the level of time and be affected by it because it's coming from demonic power. Again, it's a different source of energy.
Laughs in Mundus.
Dude, Mundus in theory should be completely unaffected by Jackpot because it's just demonic power and he's a demon king. However, if you're just weaker than it, you don't get resistance. What, because of the Bangle of Time, that non-canon item?
Oh, non-canon, is that where he's gonna go with it now?
Yeah, Dante's never confirmed to pick it up.
Wow!
God, you love that fucking...
Wow, over here fucking talking shit How dare you, good sir? How dare
Okay,
you?
so I think it depends. If we're end the game, I think probably argue Nero. Nero may win like 3 out of 10 times, but Lucia is going to win the majority of times. If we're using the Nero that fights Virgil that has like canonical regenerating DT, he's going to outlast her because they should be around the same tier. So in most fights, in most circumstances, Lucia is winning. So I'd say it's fair to put Lucia above.
All right. Yep. Sounds about right.
You're just like, yep, it's still my way.
Yep. I'm right. You're just gonna have to accept something. Just gonna have to accept this L. I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't struggle.
Wait, so let me copy this text. Paste.
It's because I have points set up for my Microsoft account because I use Bing a lot and shit, and so I was able to get $15 free on Xbox's store.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted fucking Tekken 7 because that game's just not that fun. But what do I do with this free money? I know what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna buy fucking Kingdom Hearts.
I already have Kingdom Hearts, so you know.
Oh, so how is that new DLC treating you? Or that DLC? It's out, right?
Do you want to talk about that in another video?
Alright,
that deserves its own video, and this one's long enough.
Yeah, we're already about to the 2-hour mark. Thank you, Max Rewards. Okay, so let's see that beautiful finalized mission clear. What the fuck?
Are we like cutting off the video now?
Well, no. I mean, let's see the final list here.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me just get the last of it.
Down to the danger zone. I fucking hate the fact that EA released fucking The Sims 4. It costs like fucking I think I told you this already, about $400 to get the full fucking game. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You getting Doom Eternal or no?
I'm almost done. Let's see. Okay, I'm at like 2 now.
All right. Yep. Still fucking 2 hours though. Did not expect to get fucking almost nearly 2 hours of material from 3 minutes and 24 seconds.
That's because you didn't do it the way I wanted to do it.
Block Mangler, you're just gonna have to accept that sometimes in life you're just wrong.
Uh-huh.
I know it's a tough thing to say, but you know, it's what the bigger man would do. Alright, so let's go ahead and read off the list. Now, this is again based on the list we were given. Like King Service will be on this list somewhere if this was our genuine list. Complete redo list. Proto Angelo at number 20, 19 Lady Full Arsenal, 18 Goliath, 17 Artemis, 16 Burial, 15 Credo, 14 Arkham, 13 Sanctius, end of game, 12 Trish, 11 Cavalier Angelo, 10 Malphus, 9 Savior, 8 Nero post DMC 5, no regenerating DT, so 8 Nero at the end of fucking DMC 5 more accurately, or like end of game. Hey, when is the anniversary for DMC 5 actually? It's March 8th, right?
What?
When is DMC 5's anniversary? It's March 8th?
Yep.
I think I might plan a little something on March 8th.
Oh, something.
We'll see. Alright, so 7.5 Lucia. So we did kind of cheat a little bit with this list. 7 Argosax Blob Form, 6 V, 5 Mundus, 4 Despair Embodied, 3 Sparta Hypothetical Full Power, 2 Urizen, any form will really do here, 1.5 Dante, and number 1 is going to be Daddy Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alright. That looks like a pretty solid list, all things considered. Definitely there are some characters missing, some characters I would have put in, some characters I would have left out, but you know what? All in all, I can't really complain about that list. It's a good list.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's the original list.
Okay, so let's compare it to. Obviously, Pro Angel stayed the same. There's almost no reason to compare it to. We switched up so much shit.
Yeah, no. We already went over it, so.
Alright.
I think that's everything.
Well. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. No, I think that'll about do it for this video. Thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next stream or video. And yeah. Let's go. Let's go ahead and end that.